Book of Heaven, Volume 17, June 25th, 1925. How pains and crosses open the doors to new manifestations, to more secret lessons, to the greatest gifts. In order to live in the divine will, the soul must sacrifice everything, but everything is in understanding the great good that comes to her by doing the divine will and living in it. As I was in my usual state, my adorable Jesus, all love and tenderness, came to my poor soul. First, he placed himself near me, and he fixed on me as if he wanted to tell me many things. But he wanted to expand my intelligence, because it was incapable of receiving and comprehending what he wanted to tell me. Then he laid himself over my whole person, and he hid me under himself. He covered my face with his, my hands and my feet with his. It seemed to me that he was all attentive on covering me and hiding me under himself, so that nothing of myself might appear any more. Oh, how happy I felt, all hidden and covered by Jesus. I could see nothing but Jesus. Everything had disappeared from me. The joys, the happiness of his lovable presence had all come back, as if by magic, to live again in my poor heart. Pain had been banished from me, nor did I remember his privation any more, which had cost me mortal pains. Oh, how easy it is to forget everything while being with Jesus. Now, after he kept me all covered and hidden within himself for some time, to the point that I thought he would never leave me again, I heard him call the angels, the saints, to come and see what Jesus was doing with me, and the way he kept me covered under his adorable person. Then afterwards, he shared his pains with me, and I let him do everything. Even though I felt as though being crushed by those pains, I felt happy, and I experienced the joys which the divine will contains when the soul abandons herself in it, even while suffering. Then, after he made me suffer, he told me,
"My daughter, my will wants to give itself to you more and more, and in order to give itself more, it wants to make itself understood more. And in order to render what it manifests to you more stable, safer, more estimable, it gives you new pains so as to dispose you more and to prepare in you the empty space in which to place its truths. It wants the noble cortege of pain in order to be sure about the soul and to be able to trust her. It is always pain and crosses that open the doors to new manifestations, to more secret lessons, to the greatest gifts which I want to place in you. In fact, if the soul bears my suffering and sorrowful will, she will become capable of receiving my delighting will, and will acquire the hearing in order to understand the new lessons of my will. Pain will make her acquire the celestial language in such a way that she will be able to repeat the new lessons she has learned."
On hearing this, I said to him, "My Jesus and my life, it seems to me that it takes complete sacrifice in order to do your will and live in it. At first sight, it seems nothing, but then in the practice it seems difficult. Not having a single breath of one's own will, even in holy things, in good itself, seems to be too painful for the human nature. Therefore, will souls never be able to come to living in your will with the complete sacrifice of everything?" And Jesus added,
"My daughter, everything is in understanding the great good that comes to her by doing my will, what this will is which wants this sacrifice, and how this will does not adapt itself to mixing and living with a low, small, and finite will. It wants to render the acts of the soul who wants to live in my will eternal, infinite, and divine. And how can it do this, if she wants to put in the breath of her human will, be it even a holy thing, as you say? It is always a finite will, and then the living in my will would no longer be a reality, but a way of speaking. On the other hand, the office of my will is total dominion, and it is right that the little atom of the human will be conquered, and that it lose its field of action in my will. What would you say if a little lamp, a match, or a spark of fire wanted to enter into the sun to make its own way and form its field of light and of action in the center of the sun? If the sun had reason, it would become indignant, and its light and heat would annihilate that little lamp, that match, that spark, and you would be the first one to mock them, condemning their boldness in wanting to form their own field of action within the light of the sun. Such is the breath of the human will within mine, even in good. Therefore be attentive, so that in nothing may your will have life. I covered you and hid you completely within myself, that you may have no eye but to look at my will alone, to give it free field of action in your soul. Rather, the difficulty will be in comprehending the living in my will, not in sacrificing oneself. In fact, once they have understood the great good that comes to them, that from poor they will become rich, from slaves to vile passions they will become free and dominating, from servants, masters, from unhappy, happy, even amid the pains of this poor life, and all the goods which are in my will, the total sacrifice of everything will be an honor for them. It will be desired, wanted, and longed for. This is why I push you so much to manifest what regards my will, because everything will be in comprehending it, knowing it, and loving it.
And I, my Jesus, if you so much love and want that this will of yours be known, that it may have its field of divine action within souls, oh please, you yourself manifest its truths to souls, the great good which your will contains, and the great good which they will receive. Your direct word contains a magic force, a powerful magnet, the virtue of the creative power. Oh, how difficult it is not to surrender to the sweet enchantment of your divine word. So, if things are said directly by you, all will surrender.
My daughter, it is my usual way, and the order of my eternal wisdom, to manifest my greatest works first to one soul alone, to centralize in her all the good that my work contains, to deal with her one-on-one, as if no one else existed. When I have done everything, in such a way as to be able to say that I have accomplished my work completely within her, so much so that nothing must be lacking to her, then do I let it flow, as though from a vast sea, for the good of the other creatures. So I did with my celestial Mama. First I dealt with her, as though one-on-one for the work of redemption. No other creature knew anything at all. She disposed herself to all sacrifices, to all the necessary preparations, in order to make me descend from heaven to earth. I did everything as if she were the only redeemed one. But after she delivered me to the light, in such a way that all could see me and take the goods of redemption, I gave myself to all, provided that they wanted to receive me. The same will happen with my will. Once I have completed everything within you, in such a way that my will triumph of you, and you of it, then, like water, will it flow for the good of all. But it is necessary to form the first soul in order to have the second ones.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.